Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Salam Media Highlights with me, Salailo Makudiri. And we're going to be looking at a very, very important topic in a moment, the issue of water and water outages, which continue to disrupt life across Johannesburg and some of the surrounding suburbs, with residents citing prolonged cuts. There are some areas that have gone 2, 3 weeks without water, other areas just inconsistent supply all around, and there's little communication or information that's coming from the authorities. And yeah, it looks like now community members are mobilizing. They're coming together. They're protesting. We saw protests earlier on today in parts of Melville and the surrounding areas in that part of Johannesburg. And there's another planned protest, peaceful protest tomorrow, the 12th of February at the Xavier Bridge, just over the M1. And joining us now is one of the organizers, Zubair Patel, who's going to be giving us insights on the protest and also some of the struggles that the community has faced regarding water. Zubair, salamu alaikum. Jazakallah so much for joining us. Welcome to Salam Media Highlights.
Alaikum salam. Jazakallah for having me on.
No, the pleasure is all ours, and I think we'll jump right into it. What would you say are some of the specific failures, or the frustrations that have pushed residents to organize, to protest over water cuts? It's something that here at Salam Media have covered for a very, very long time. It looks like there's no solution in sight for the southern suburbs and their struggles with water. What exactly are you demanding from Joburg Water and the city in general at this moment?
I think the simple response to that is answers. We need answers. We need water. We need water coming out of our taps. We don't need water from tankers. We need it to flow. The impact that this has had on the community is immense. It's ongoing. It's been a week now, and it's sad to say the communication that we get out of Joburg Water is less than adequate. We just don't need it. We get the same copy and paste messages every morning and every evening, and the info that comes out of there is that the towers are dry and the reservoir is dry. This is a
Mm,
continuous battle. This comes up every 3 to 4 months, 5 months, but yeah, and the timing. There's no good time to be without water. But the fact of the matter is, this thing is affecting residents, it's affecting businesses, and it's affecting the elderly, the sick, and the poor. They suffer the most.
mm, mm. And I want to touch on that, especially so some of the most vulnerable people in our communities, and how they've been affected by the water cuts. You deal a lot with the community and the provision of these water tankers. How much of a nightmare have they been for people that have to go to work, and sometimes these water tankers come at unannounced, and you have older people in the community that can't fetch water in buckets and all of that. Can you give us more insight on that, the true lived experiences of people and how this has affected them?
No, absolutely. Like you said, what happens is people are out at work and then they come back at night, and now they're going to run around looking for water. We're fortunate we have bowls in our area, but let's face it. I mean, you still got to go to the bowl. You still got to load all your buckets, and the poor and the elderly just cannot get around. There are people that travel to work by taxis. Then they get
Mm,
home. Now they must go and source the water from the closest bowl, only to get there to find a queue of cars and people standing in waiting. And it's huge. It's hugely frustrating. And what about with those that have kids? To see two kids and you come home, they don't understand that they for them you open the tap and there should be water. Now
mm.
the community is galvanized, and we're fortunate enough that
All right, we seem to have lost Zubair there for a moment. All right, it looks like he's coming back. I would just want him to share some very, very important insights regarding the protest action that is been planned, peaceful protest tomorrow, Xavier Bridge. So yeah, seem to have Zubair back. Zubair, we just lost you there for a moment. Before we lost you, we were still talking about some of the challenges that the most vulnerable in the communities are facing, especially when it comes to sourcing water from the boreholes and also from some of these water tankers. All right. I think there's some connection issues with Zubair. We don't seem to be getting sound coming from his end. So we're going to wait for him to just log back in. But otherwise, I think it's as simple as that. There's a planned protest, water protest tomorrow, the 12th of February 2026. This is going to be happening at the Xavier Bridge. This is over the M1 highway. This is going to be happening from 6 a.m. right until 9 a.m. And it's essentially about what I think everyone in Johannesburg at this current moment is struggling with, the issues around water provision, communication from the relevant authorities. I think there was a media briefing later today by the mayor of Johannesburg, Dada Morero, and I think it's the same old script. It keeps talking about the same thing, talking about aging infrastructure, talking about, well, they are maintaining pipes, they are maintaining, some of the infrastructure that is present at this current moment. And this has been happening for a very, very long time. And here at Salam Media, we've been covering it for a long time, especially the challenges of water that some of the communities in the southern suburbs have been facing. It's been a minute now. It's been a few years, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and it doesn't look like there's a solution in sight. And what's interesting for me is the fact that this is happening in what you'd consider suburbs. It'll be the southern suburbs. We saw earlier today, Melville, there was a protest in that part of the city. And naturally, these aren't places that you would think these challenges would be happening. Naturally, you wouldn't see protests happening in some of the suburbs of Johannesburg. But reality is, infrastructure has gotten so bad that no one is immune from it anymore. And it looks like we have Zubair back on air. Zubair, hope you can hear me now. Salam.
Yeah, Salam. Okay, that's a lot
Yes.
better. Sorry, man. I must apologize. I'm on,
No worries.
on the highway. So just to pick up where we left off, the community is delivering water to people at night. The elderly, the sick, the pensioners, the old age homes, and so on and so forth. And when you go to these homes and you're looking after somebody who's sick, and the last thing that person needs is to be in a house without water, because they're taking care of somebody who's bedridden. And I mean, that is just not on. The city has got a responsibility, the state has got a responsibility, and we can't continue in this fashion. They need to come to the party, they need to get these matters resolved, they need to have the water flowing again.
And before we lost you there, I was just talking to our listeners about the fact that you don't normally see protest action in the quote unquote suburbs of Johannesburg. It always happens in the far-flung areas, the townships. But service delivery has gotten so bad that no one is immune to it anymore. It doesn't matter which part of the city you're in; it is going to affect you. Let's talk about this specific decision to go out to the streets and to voice out your dissatisfaction with the city of Johannesburg. What came about it, and what are you guys looking to achieve from it?
All right, so as the days have gone by, the frustration is built. And the community are asking for some sort of protest and for us to take to the streets. We could only hold out so far, and now it's time. We need to be out there, and along with people in other suburbs. You've seen the protests happening around Johannesburg. I think there's more later today as well, and we're going to continue this tomorrow as well. Just to show that, citizens are fed up. Everybody has had enough, and we want answers. We don't want excuses. Enough is enough. Let the water flow again.
No, most definitely. And just before I let you go, if you can give the details to members of the community that maybe word hasn't gotten to them yet, that there's going to be this protest action tomorrow morning. What time is it happening? Where is it happening? And what time must everyone gather?
All right, we plan to start at 6 a.m. At the Xavier Bridge crossing over the M1 highway from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. If people could be there by the latest 5:45 a.m., so we can coordinate and get everybody in order. It's going to be a peaceful protest. We do not want to disrupt anything or anybody's day, but we just want to be heard. We want to be seen, and we want to be heard. So 6 o'clock tomorrow morning at the Xavier Bridge crossing the M1 highway.
There you have it, Zubair Patel. Jazakallah so much for always giving us your time. Really, really appreciate it. There you go. That was Zubair Patel, one of the organizers of the No Water, No Silence protest. That's what they coined it. It's taking place tomorrow morning at Xavier Bridge. This is across Salam Media. So if you are in the surrounding areas, you can pop by and say hi. We are affected by the same issue. There hasn't been water in the office. It's been a difficult time. And as I mentioned, no one is immune to it. It's starting to affect everyone. And I think protest action is important. It's a democracy. You need to hold those that are in power accountable. You need to ask them tough questions. Why are we not having a basic human right? Why aren't we accessing water? Something that's as simple as that. So yeah, we'll continue to be tracking the story. We'll definitely be there tomorrow morning, and we'll also be tracking the city's response to the ongoing water challenges in Johannesburg. It feels and looks like it's getting out of hand, and the government, the municipality, needs to get a grip on it. Having Sona tomorrow, I wonder if the president will also touch on it a bit. This has been Salam Media Highlights. Thank you so much for staying with us. Follow us and like our social media pages, such as Salam Media, and we'll give you the latest regarding the story and everything and anything you need to know about the world in and around you. Otherwise, bye bye for now. Sharp.